Chapter 15, Blessings Abound. Mom was sweeping the front porch while the children played with their friends in the front room. She waved cheerfully at Violet, the woman who lived across the street from them. Violet did not return the greeting. Mom leaned her broom against the railing and walked over to her. Immediately she saw the tears. "Come, let's go over to my house and talk," she offered. They talked and prayed together until Violet felt better and could return home. Mom looked around the house after Violet had left. It was a mess, and not everything could possibly get done before the family had to leave for the weekend. A friend's words echoed in her head. "Norma, you really should try to keep your home neater and cleaner." "Did I tell you?" Dad asked Mom as they were walking home from church. "Violet stopped me yesterday and told me that she was so glad you took the time for her the other day. She was tired of living and was thinking about killing herself." Mom felt goosebumps up and down her arms. Sometimes there are more important things in life than spotless houses. As soon as Brian had finished helping the neighbor lady, Catherine, take her trash out, he rushed through the door into the house. "I'm hungry. When is supper?" "It's ready as soon as the table is set." Mom handed the cups to him and motioned for him to place them on the table. The children quickly put out the plates and utensils so the family could gather around for dinner. Angela had an announcement as they finished dessert. "I need a bonnet and an apron for the Thanksgiving feast on Wednesday." "You could just wrap a rag around your head," Brian suggested. "Okay," Angela returned, "and you can wear an oatmeal box on your head for a pilgrim hat." Mom quickly stopped the children. "No need for either of you to wear rags or oatmeal boxes. I'll try to make something tomorrow." The children started to help her clear the table. "I always love the fall season. It's such a beautiful time of year, and we have a lot to be thankful for." She turned to Dad. "Today, Mrs. Pagan called and asked if our church could get some things together for their Thanksgiving meal. I told her it was too late to ask the congregation, but we could give her some food from our supply of beans, corn, potatoes, and applesauce. Do you think we could deliver it tomorrow?" Dad leaned back in his chair. "We worked very hard for that food, and we have our own family to feed. I'm sure she doesn't need all that food." Mom paused. "I'm sorry, I should have asked you first, but I thought we could spare a few things. I already promised her." "Okay, since you already promised," Dad reluctantly said. The children burst through the door in excitement the next afternoon. "It was such a fun day," Brian said. He excitedly pulled a chair over to where Mom was working. "I liked the turkey pie we had for lunch, and I liked how everybody was dressed like pilgrims and Indians," Angela said as she twirled around the kitchen. Marcus licked his lips. "The pumpkin pie was delicious. I'm glad we were allowed to have more than one piece." "Imagine eating only dried bread for weeks at a time like the pilgrims did." Brian shook his head in disbelief. Mom smiled at her children's excitement. "It's a wonder anybody survived, but God brought Squanto along to help them plan for the next winter." Diane interjected, "I think it was awesome how God provided all their food for the long winter. It would have been fun to meet the Indians. I wouldn't have been one bit scared." That evening, Mom prepared the Thanksgiving turkey, and the family enjoyed a delicious meal together. They were interrupted by a knock on the door. Dad opened it to find John Schmidt standing there. Dad said, "I'm surprised to see you here. Come on in." John shook his head. "Thank you for the offer, but I can't stay long. My family and our church had some food they wanted to give to you." He paused and looked at Brian and Marcus. "I could use some strong young men to help me unload a few things." The family watched in amazement as jars of peaches, applesauce, pickles, and tomatoes emerged from the van. Next came cartons of eggs, bags of potatoes and apples, and so much more. After John left, Dad marveled at the room full of food. His voice quivered as he said to Mom, "I am so ashamed. I was being selfish when I did not want to give our food away to Mrs. Pagan, but your giving heart and faith have been rewarded."